During Saturday's IGN Live, we got an exclusive interview with Takashi Iizuka regarding Sonic X Shadow Generations, and while I personally felt the interview felt a bit awkward in a few places, like weird microphone errors, some quite frankly funny but also odd choice of clothing, and overall just the way some of the questions were handled. Anyway, this video isn't about what I thought of the interview, although if you want to know what I thought of the trailer from Summer Games Fest, do check out my previous video where I go and break down things that I loved during the trailer, because I have quite a lot of positive things to say about the game. So during the interview, the possibility of future Sonic game remasters were teased. Some people called for Sonic Unleashed, as I expected. Iizuka mentioned colours for some reason, which sparked absolute fear into my soul, as I thought we'd get another. But I am also pretty sure there were a few Sonic Heroes mentions, which, okay, I guess if you like Sonic Heroes, you like Sonic Heroes. But I thought since more Sonic remasters were teased, I thought I'd go through a list of games that we could possibly see getting future remasters down the line, and some that probably won't. But without further ado, let's begin. Also, I forgot to say this earlier, you do pronounce the X in Sonic X Shadow Generations. Iizuka, he confirmed it during the interview, so, actually, here's the proof.
Just so you know, the official title is Sonic X Shadow Generation. So the X is not silent, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So, before you comment saying it's not pronounced, it is. Anyway, let's continue on with the video. So I'm going to rip off the band-aid and talk about the obvious. I do feel like at some point we are going to get Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 remakes, or remasters, whatever you want to call them. It's something that has been brought up from time to time as far back as when I joined the fandom, back when people thought that the Sonic game coming out in 2021 was going to be an Adventure 2 or Adventure 1 remaster. Oh, how long you all were. But anyway, with Sonic X Shadow Generations being what I personally think to be quite ambitious with the way they're doing stuff in the gameplay now, I could definitely see them potentially dipping their toes into remastering the adventure games. I think it was either Sam Procrastinates or Mr. Needlemouse who mentioned it, but it does kind of feel like Sonic X Shadow Generations is Sonic Team's way of trying new things, especially with them now doing stuff inside Hedgehog Engine 2 for things like the animation, visual effects, lighting and stuff. It's really interesting how they're doing that. As far as I'm concerned, they've never done that before. It's all been done during post-processing, so I would definitely love to see them doing that more in the future, as to me it makes the effects like Shadow's teleportation feel more realistic, as much as it can be in a cartoon game with talking rodents. But it also allows for the lightning of the power from Shadow to feel more authentic, because when you're doing it in post-processing, you have to match the lighting, and if it's not done correctly, it comes off looking cheap and tacky. So yeah, with Sonic X Shadow Generations showing what I personally think beautiful visuals. I know I said that about Forces, sorry Ryan. I do still somewhat like the visuals in Forces, but not as much as I like the way things look in this game. I definitely think Sonic Team are ready to start dabbling into remastering more games. Obviously, I know people are going to be thinking, oh, but you whine your ass off about Sonic Colors Ultimate being terrible, but the moment you see the shiniest glimmer of hope within Sonic X Shadow Generations, you're all like, this is peak, and all that stuff. Honestly, yeah, I do somewhat agree. I am jumping the gun ever so slightly, but it's just because I'm so genuinely happy that Sonic Team have improved with how they're going about remastering games. So yeah, I would genuinely like to see them tackle something as meaningful as the adventure games, because I know the adventure games are a large part of what makes people fans of Sonic. I think next on the list would have to be Shadow the Hedgehog 2005. It's a bit of a weird one, I know, and I would argue that things like the cutscenes wouldn't need changing because, well, the CGI ones, and I specifically mean ones like the opening cutscene, are really good. But honestly, if they were to go and keep the CGI cutscenes and then change the in-game rendered cutscenes, it would be a bit weird. And also, whilst I do genuinely love the CGI opening cutscene because it is gorgeous, it would look a bit dated compared to what we've seen in Forces, Frontiers, and now Sonic and Shadow Generations. However, I do feel like for its time, and we are talking 2005 here, the cutscenes for the time were absolutely gorgeous and they do have a level of charm to them. But I also feel like, personally, if they were to go and remaster the cutscenes, they would kind of lose that charm to them. But that is kind of the point of a remaster, and as I said, the cutscenes do look a bit dated, and however, I will say that there have been a lot of artistic choices that have changed between the game's release, between 2001 and 2008 and 2011 to now. And all I am saying is, imagine Shadow the Hedgehog 2005 with Sonic X Shadow Generations style gameplay and visuals, because this upcoming game looks absolutely gorgeous. Well, it wouldn't be a Speedsters United video without obligatory mention of Sonic 06. I know, at some point I will stop with it, but for the purpose of this video, it does deserve a mention. Purely because 06 is getting mentioned in the Kingdom Valley stage in Sonic and Shadow Generations. Obviously, I don't need to spell out for you what would need changing. There's things I would genuinely say need improving if they were to go and remaster 06. I have respect for what they were going for with Sonic's character model in this game, but honestly, it just ain't it, Chief. He's too lanky in the torso, and it's also the noodliness of his limbs that aren't so obvious at times, but also do show up sometimes. Also the quills. Well, without starting up the quills debate again, the quills on 06 Sonic are just way too long, and also they're kind of skinnier too. That's also just one of my problems with the character models in 06. They are just out of place, considering that after 06, we go to this absolutely beautiful model. God, I love Marja Sonic, even if it has kind of overstayed its welcome at this point. But yeah, I do genuinely understand what they were trying to go for with realism with 06. Part of me wants to say it works, but the other part of me just says it doesn't work. It's very hit and miss for me, personally. And Sonic 06 does have some quite good level design too. Crisis City, whilst it's a complete arse to go through both during Project 06 and original 06, it's definitely one of my favourites. Also, as I mentioned in my previous video, Kingdom Valley is also beautiful, and yes, I have to say, considering how Kingdom Valley looks in Sonic and Shadow Generations, I would love to see Sonic 06 remastered with texture upgrades, rebuilt physics, because what the hell is this, guys? Also, make sure the character models are consistent because they're so out of place. I know fixing all the bugs and glitches with Sonic 06 won't fix the story, but even then, it would still be nice to have Sonic 06 as they intended it, albeit with the stuff that makes it more consistent with the games we have now. And also, since it seems that they are changing bits of the story of Sonic Generations with the new game coming out, maybe they can try and rewrite it so Elise does not kiss Sonic, because what the fuck, guys. Okay, and fuck it. It doesn't need remastering, but Unleashed, just put it on Steam. Seriously, just port it to Steam. Maybe remix a few songs, maybe mix in some stuff from Unleashed, change Werehog physics, and make the fighting gameplay less button mashy, because that's a complaint I have with Unleashed. But yeah, you don't need to touch the environments. Apotos, Rooftop Run, they are all beautiful in their respects. And yes, Iizuka, I know you dodged the Unleashed mention during the interview, but please just put this game on Steam. Maybe give it some DLCs if you want. I am sure people would happily purchase extra content for Unleashed, depending on what it is, of course. Give us a collector's edition with artwork, Werehog statue, stickers. Please don't give us a Chip statue, I might break it. Give us Chip's friendship bracelet as a key ring. You know what, just give us everything from the Sonic X Shadow Generations Collector's Edition. Just this time, don't make it Japanese exclusive. The rest of the world wants stuff too, you know. So yeah, I definitely would say that Sonic X Shadow Generations has definitely opened up the potential for future remasters. Sonic X Shadow Generations is a step in the right direction. I am genuinely happy that they seem to be finally listening to the fans, even if it took them so many years. I'm excited to see what they cook up next after this upcoming game, because it is so refreshing to see a game get so much positive attention, and I genuinely do hope that Sonic Team and Sega learn a lot from this. But what do you think? What potential future remasters would you like to see? Are there any Sonic games that I've missed that you think could have been mentioned? Let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future Sonic content on the channel. Also, be sure to check out my Ko-fi page. I'm doing Sonic character render commissions there for $10, and your support would be greatly appreciated. And also, be sure to join the community Discord to keep up with the discussion regarding the blue speed mouse. And as always, keep on speeding and have an absolutely fantastic day.